Hello there, beautiful women. It is Kim Parkinson with Podcasting for Spiritual Women, and happy International Podcast Day. International Podcast Day is celebrated annually on September 30th. This was created, according to Google, this was created back actually in 2014 and then became a thing in 2015. So the first one was in 2014, where they kind of had like a little celebration around podcasting. And then in 2015, they just made it a thing every year. And according to this, it was actually created and first celebrated in the United States. And it was called National Podcast Day back then. And it was created by Steve and Dave Lee. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know who Steve and Dave Lee are, but it's always great to have a day to celebrate something, right? It's a great day to just really acknowledge some of the important work that you have done. Podcasting isn't just this marketing tool that people have to use. It's really a platform where people can actually speak their mind. It's kind of like throwback to the old TV news days, right? Think about that. If you wanted to be a news anchor, you really had to work your butt off to get into the newsroom and to get on air for the newsroom. But nowadays, all you need is a microphone and a laptop and some recording software, and you are good to go. And you can have your voice out there. You can have your knowledge out there. You can have your expertise out there. You can have your opinions out there. And what a great modality to offer people to just really get to know you. You speak the way you speak. You can maybe try to tweak it a little bit if you're really good at it. Maybe you're a narrator for audiobooks or things like that. And sometimes you have to have different voices or whatever. But for the most part, podcasting is a worldwide way for people to be able to express themselves. And it really gives that platform, right? It belongs to you because most of the time, you're recording and then you're paying for the hosting. And if you're paying for your hosting, you're consistently owning that material, right? That is your material, can't be used elsewhere without your permission in an inexpensive way to be able to share yourself with the world. It's not a platform similar to social media. Social media, let's face it, we all know this. Instagram, you post on Instagram within 24 hours, whatever you said is gone, maybe less, right? Same with Facebook. And even in this day and age, same with YouTube in some cases, right? Because sometimes people just keep scrolling by. They want to see the latest, they want to see the greatest, you know? Think about all of those platforms that just offer you have to post on a consistent basis to be seen, and sometimes they don't offer longevity for those, but a podcast is longevity. And yes, some people will say YouTube podcasts, there's longevity based on SEO, based on the algorithm. That can be happening as well. But for the most part, the other platforms, if you're not seen in that same day, Facebook is not going to show your live to the masses. Here's a couple of other things that I want to talk about here based on the availability of podcasts in the world. They're totally and 100% bingeable on the go, right? You do not need, once you've downloaded them the first time, you do not need Wi-Fi for them. You can bring them to the upper parts of Maine where there's no Wi-Fi, which coincidentally, even though I'm recording this ahead of time, when this airs, that is exactly where I will be, in Maine with no Wi-Fi in the location that I will be at. So if I didn't download a podcast episode, I would have nothing to listen to because I can't get YouTube. So think about that, right? And it's not just Maine, right? There's not just those areas, but there's a lot of other locations in the world, even right here in the United States, where Wi-Fi just doesn't reach. I do live normally in a very wooded area, and sometimes the Wi-Fi is not great there, right? If I don't start my car and get it connected to my phone before I leave the driveway, sometimes my Apple CarPlay doesn't work. And I think that has a direct connection to, the Wi-Fi situation around here, but maybe not, but that's my feeling about that. And then this is a time when we're looking at our podcast. It's a time to say, Is this where I am best suited? And I'm going to tell you that I'm really celebrating this because before this podcast, if you don't know this, I've been working in the podcasting space since 2020. And before that, I had my own TV show, started in, let me see, I think it was 2015, 2014. I had a TV show on local access cable. I did start podcasts, but never really had a really core, what was I going to talk about? It was more so like I was a podcast producer and I was like, I should have a podcast. And then we didn't have any really meaty content around it. So I ended up kind of just letting them pod fade, which happens for sure with a lot of people. In this particular case, I'm looking at the podcast that I have now and how much easier creating my offers, creating my content, creating my social media posts, creating just more of what is inside of me is when I speak my truth. Podcasting for me has really opened doors, not just the whole production side of my business, but I'm actually talking about speaking and batching and recording on a weekly, monthly basis. This has really been eye opening. Like everything that I do now, I speak into the world. And then what happens when you speak it to the world? It happens, right? So this has been game changing for me. I absolutely love podcasting. I absolutely love recording and bringing this to you. Now, sometimes I have to do it, I have to batch, which is fine. Sometimes I find that I struggle with when to record, and that's fine too. I'm sure you do as well, right? It's just part of it. It's just part of the atmosphere of the busyness of our lives. And I will say that because I do go back and listen to old episodes, I haven't really struggled with what to talk about yet. And this is going to be episode 28. I actually have, I'm going to say, I probably have 4 to 5 episodes in the bank for coaching style episodes. I have an interview episode to talk about. And each one of those coaching episodes and that interview episode will spark and has sparked even more content. So I don't see myself running out of things to talk about anytime soon. And I love that. I love that because I think that's so freeing because this is me. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to help people. Being able to speak it to the world and then create content around what I have spoken and how I feel is going to really draw in the people that are most aligned with me. And I just feel like I couldn't have done this without audio podcast. Whether or not I ever move this over to YouTube style podcast or not, right now, the beauty of it is I'm sitting here in a t-shirt, my hair's in a bun. I haven't taken a shower today. I'm drinking my protein shake and I am talking to you guys about International Podcast Day and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it because I don't have to get all dolled up. I don't have to look my best. I don't have to do any of that. I just have to speak my truth and speak what comes to my mind. And podcasting has allowed that to happen for me. And so today on International Podcast Day, I am celebrating that. I am celebrating how podcasting has brought this to me and how it has really opened doors to not just great content, not just great ideas, but also to great people. I've met so many fantastic people just talking about podcasting, whether or not that's through a presentation I have done, whether or not that's through a bundle I have participated in, whether or not that is coaching style episodes, interview episodes, or me being a guest on other people's podcasts too. I am just so grateful for this platform and what this particular style of content has opened for me, myself. So hopefully you feel the same way about your podcast, or maybe you can take a moment to reflect on what your podcast has brought to you for joy and longevity in your business. And if you're not feeling that, then maybe it is time to shake things up a little bit. Maybe podcasting isn't where you need to be right now. It really should be joyful, and it really should be something that you feel like you could continue on for a long time. And like I mentioned, when I do these coaching style episodes and when I do the interviews and when I talk, even just now, I think even going back to this, I probably could talk about a couple of things, dive deeper on a couple of different topics that I've talked about today. And that excites me because I'm thinking, great, I have more content and I don't have an end to them. As a matter of fact, I have a list that I started with at the beginning of maybe about 75 episodes. And some of those episodes keep getting pushed down further and further because more things come up that I feel are more important. Maybe they go with a coaching episode I'm going to be releasing. Maybe they go with the times like today, International Podcast Day, or maybe it's just I don't feel aligned with it right now. And that's okay too. So hopefully you enjoy podcasting as much as I do. Or if you maybe feel like you would like to start podcasting, please reach out. I'm here and available. You can reach me at kpcreativemedia.com, and I would love to talk to you about either your podcast, being a guest on your podcast, or maybe just whether or not you want to start a podcast. All right, that is it for me today. Happy International Podcast Day. And remember, where your voice flows, your business grows. Until next week, talk to you then. Bye-bye now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Podcasting for Spiritual Women. If you would like more strategy and tips and some tricks on how to make your podcast better, I recommend that you join my newsletter list. You can find that at kpcreativemedia.com/newsletter. Until next time.